What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Pastor Jay. Welcome to Wednesdays. I am here in my beautiful classroom. I took some time during my break because I wanted to jump on here and share this word for Wednesdays. I could not wait to share it this evening, but I wanted to record this and share this right now. Thank you for joining. Wednesdays is a time where we come together and get midweek impact for us to win in our daily lives. Some of us have been going through in our jobs and our personal lives, and I'm here as your personal coach to help you to get the winning formula in your life. So I'm glad that you are here right now. I'm glad that you are tapped in, and I'm glad that you are joining us here in our winner's circle on today. All right, so today, really quick, today I want to talk about the ripple effect. We want to talk about the ripple effect that has to do with our impact and influence. And we have to realize that we are here to make a difference, that our lives are not just here to get up, go to work, love our families, love our kids, eat food, kick back, and then ultimately, die. What a boring way, uninteresting way to live life. I truly believe that life is worth having something meaningful, right? And I truly believe that everyone's life has a distinct meaning and distinct purpose. So if you believe that, I want you to type in the chat, my life has meaning. My life has meaning. So I'm not going to be before you long. This should only be about 15 minutes, but this is going to be the most meaningful word that you hear in your life this week. I really want you to believe that. So hit that like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and share this to somebody who needs to hear this and see this. So I want to talk about this ripple effect. Do you realize that if you drop a pebble in water, that if you drop that pebble in water, I want you to see how far the ripple will spread beyond the point of impact. Do you realize that our lives, that we're only really able to see the point of impact that we are doing in our current life? You may be a nurse and you may be treating a patient that comes in, and that patient, you may see them, and that patient that you see maybe on a regular basis, or it may be a one-time thing, and you may treat that patient with so much care that it changes their life forever. And it may say, hey, I had a nurse that treated me so well that I'm going to tell my daughter or my son that, hey, you need to go into the medical field because of how this nurse treated me. Do you realize that we are never truly able to see the full depth, the full breadth of how far our ripple is? I sit here and I teach hundreds of children every single week, and I teach them all pretty much the same lesson, a similar lesson, but I have no idea how far my impact goes. And when I really try to sit down and think about how many students have I actually taught in my career, it goes into the thousands. So if I've taught thousands, that means that my impact goes past the tens of thousands and into the hundreds of thousands. And if I think about how many students I've taught, and then how many people I've preached to in congregations, how many people have heard my music. I was on Spotify and seeing that one of my songs is trending really well in Brazil. See, I think now that we have some tools and data to see that the things that we do that are impactful, that they are reaching far beyond what we can actually do with our own hands and our own feet. So I want you to know that our influence is not about how loud your splash is. You may be doing something right now that's not splashy, that's not fancy, that's not getting you a whole lot of attention right now. It's not about the splash. It's not about the splash, but it's how far the waves and the ripple goes. It's like that pebble that's hitting the water. So I want you to ask this question. Who is feeling the ripple of your life right now? Who is feeling the impact of your life? I feel like right now that there are things that is happening that is truly divine, that of God's order, that He is allowing for me to see that my life has so much more impact beyond what I can feel personally in a moment. And our minds will trick us to think that because something is not loud, because something is not audacious, because something is not big or fancy or splashy, that we don't have impact. But it goes into the ripple effects of what people say when you're not there. How do people speak of you when you're not there? When you walk into a room, when you encounter people. I encountered someone the other day, and I hadn't met them before, but they knew exactly who I was. That's something. People can know who you are, and your name is going to carry some weight before you walk into the room. Man, isn't that good to know? So I want to get us to this next part, this core scripture is Matthew 5, verses 14 through 16. The Bible says that you are the light of the world, a city that sits on a hill that cannot be hidden. It also says, let your light shine before others, that they can see your good works, that glorifies your Father which is in heaven. I want you to think about that. The light is about the visibility. It's your visibility. What are you doing that lights up the rooms that you walk into? When you come to work, are you a light when you walk into work? When I say a light, it doesn't mean that you come in there with a Bible in your hand and you're quoting every scripture that you know. A light doesn't mean that you're coming in judging people if they live a lifestyle that you don't agree with or if they're doing something you don't like. No, that's not light. Light is what comes in when people see that you visibly do good works. Shine. Let your light shine. Shine is the intentional action. How intentional are you? How intentional are you about showing up for others? About sending somebody a kind message when somebody is going through, about praying for others? It's the intentional action. One of my friends, their mother passed away. I've been checking up on her recently. I've been sending her text messages, sending her love, sending her my prayers. It's the intentional action. And then what happens when we let our light shine? We glorify our Father which is in heaven. It's the directing the impacts towards something that is bigger than us. John Maxwell said this quote. It said, leadership is influence. It's nothing more, nothing less. So when we do this scripture, letting our light shine to the world, we are leading. When we are leading, we are winning. It's influence. It is what we do. What does light do? Light influences darkness. Without this light in this room, you would not be able to see me as clearly as you do right now, because this light is influencing how you see me. The light that we carry helps to influence the narrative that people have. So I want you to ask yourself this: what kind of light am I carrying into the room? How am I impacting people with my light? I want you to think about this right now about our influence, is that it starts with integrity. You can't influence what you imitate. You can only influence what you embody. You ever heard the saying, people can spot a phony a mile away? Oh, ever been there? Ever been around somebody that's like, I don't know if they really who they say they are. And sometimes people can be hating on you even when you're yourself. But see, integrity means that you are actually embodying what you do. And sometimes people will have a problem that you actually have high standards. People will have a problem with it that you actually are a person that is full of integrity and high character. But because you embody it, they have to respect it. And here's another thing. People are not, in this day and age, they're not trying to follow perfection. They want to follow authenticity. They want to follow what is real. They want to follow something that says, man, this person is actually living what they say or attempting to live what they say. No more of the day and age of the pastor being perfect or this person having all the perfect edges. We got to learn how to be authentically who we are. And authenticity is not about showing all your flaws. That's not authenticity. Sometimes we want to show, as they used to say back in the day, your slip is showing. Sometimes we don't need to show all of the flaws that we have in front of people, but to be authentic is actually showing a level of vulnerability. So, a candle, I want you to think about this example. A candle doesn't lose anything by lighting another candle, right? So it's influence. That candle is lighting another candle. So think about when you are lighting up somebody else, when you are having influence, you are simply passing your light to somebody else. Impact. I want us to think about this, that our impact requires intention. Influence without direction becomes distraction. Influence without direction, it becomes a distraction. So you ever ran into somebody who just talks a lot? They got a whole lot to say, but they really don't have any action behind it. They don't have any intention behind it. They're just talking. They're talking about themselves. They're more about being boastful. But we don't want to be that. We don't want to be that distraction. You want to ask, what atmosphere do I create when I walk in the room? How intentional can I be when I encounter people, right? So if your presence doesn't make a difference, neither will your absence. Ooh, I want you to think about that. If your presence doesn't make a difference, if people don't know if you're there, if you're not making a difference when you're there, when you're gone, they ain't gonna care. You want to be able, when you walk into a room, it's meaningful. And when you leave a room, it's meaningful. And not just leave a void. You want to be able to leave a lasting impact, that you've influenced the people that were in the room to evolve and change to become their better self. So I want to close with this. I want you to think of one person, just one person, who you can intentionally pour into this week. You may be a teacher, I have hundreds of students that I intentionally pour into. In my lesson plans and the time that I stand in front of them, that I speak to them, that I speak over them, I want to speak over them with confidence. I want to speak over them with the light, with encouragement, but I want to be able to intentionally pour into them, that they know, man, this teacher has my back. He cares about me. How can you be an influencer by design? I want you to leave this place saying this. I want you to write this down in the chat. I want you to say, I am a light in dark places. I want you to say that. I am a light in dark places. And last thing I want you to say, I don't chase attention. I create impact. Listen, I thank you for joining me on today for another edition of Wednesdays. I said it was only going to be about 15 minutes. We're hitting that 15-minute mark. I love you all. I want you to continue to be inside of this winner's circle. We are here to win. We are here to have influence. We are here to have impact, because that's what we are created for. I love you. See you next time on Wednesdays. I'm Pastor Jay. Peace and blessings.